Okay, Tov, so we've been talking about what happens when someone from Israel leaves to outside of Israel for Yom Tov. We've explained how long it needs to be that he intends to be outside of Israel and how he needs to conduct himself on second day Yom Tov, depending on the intent to return and how long, etc. In a situation where a person is certainly only considered visiting outside of Israel, so he's gone for a short period of time, a month or so, and has every intent to come back. So we've explained that such a person has the status of Ben Eretz Israel, and he only needs to keep one day Yom Tov, but publicly not to do Melacha on second day Yom Tov. And we've explained that he needs to pray tefillin on because it's a weekday for him, and then go to the Beit Knesset. Can that person have an aliyah when he comes to the Beit Knesset? And this is particularly a question which has been asked with regards to, let's say someone is visiting for the Chagim from Eretz Israel to Chutz La'aretz, and he's there for Sukkot. And the community want to honor this prominent guest to be Hatan Torah, to be Hatan Bereshit, which, of course, for us outside of Israel is on second day on 12 on Simchat Torah. So, what's the scenario with all of this? What happens? So, Poskim write, let's just talk about an aliyah on a regular second day Yom Tov. If it's second day Yom Tov, which is Chol HaMoed, so let's say second day Sukkot, second day Pesach, that's Chol HaMoed. And in Israel, they would also be keeping Yom Tov, although not the same status, but it's Yom Tov, and there's call-up, so of course you can get a call-up. If, however, it's last day Yom Tov, 8th day of Pesach, 8th day of Sukkot, second day of Shavuot, so then, if it's a day where it's not a Monday or Thursday or a Shabbat, then there's no Torah in Israel then. And so therefore, how can you be called up to the Torah when there's no obligation to read the Torah on that day? And therefore, a person should make every effort not to be in a situation where they're going to be called up. And even if he's called up, Hamadia writes the person shouldn't have the aliyah, he should explain that he can't have the aliyah, etc. Some of the poskim said that if he's called up, he can go up. But if it's a day where there's no Torah, then a person should make every effort not to be called up and shouldn't go up to the Torah. If, however, it's a Monday or second day Yom Tov, is a Monday or Thursday or Shabbat, then even though you're not keeping second day Yom Tov, but still, it's a day where you get called up to the Torah. And therefore, what difference does it make whether you're reading from the Monday, Thursday reading or Yom Tov reading? You can be called up to the Torah, and that's fine. So thus, if the second day Yom Tov, Simchat Torah, for a person to be Chatan Torah, Chatan Bereshit, if that falls on a Monday or a Thursday or a Shabbat, then there's what to rely on for the person to be honored with being Chatan and to be called up on that day. If, however, that day is not a Torah reading day, so it's not a Monday or Thursday or Shabbat, the Hida was asked about this, and the Hida already, 250 years ago, he wrote that, of course not. How can you be honored with Chatan Torah and Chatan Bereshit? Because this is not a day of reading. And just like we find a Kohen, or anyone for that matter, who is not fasting on a fast day, he shouldn't be called up to the Torah, even though it is a fast day. But since you're not fasting, and the whole obligation to read the Torah on that day comes from the fact that it's a fast day. If you're not fasting, you're not part of that, and therefore you can't be called up, even though you're not fasting because you've got medical reasons not to, but still, you can't be called up to the Torah. All the more so, right, that you can't be called up to the Torah on a day where there isn't Torah, when it's a secular day for you, when it's a weekday for you, to be Chatan Torah, Chatan Bereshit. There were poskim who said that because of the simcha of Simchat Torah, where we call lots of people, the minhag in many communities is to call everyone, so we increase aliyot, and therefore there's a kind of permissibility to call up everyone and anyone, because that's the whole simcha of Simchat Torah, and therefore even though it's your Ben Eretz Israel, and you only need to keep one day, but since you're part and you're there, you can also be called up. That's a very weak svara, but some of the poskim are of that opinion, but generally the consensus is that a person should not be honored with Hatan Torah, Hatan Bereshit, if they have the status of Eretz.